Alright, so let's talk about Magicraft. If you click on the video, I'm going to give you a review verdict right now. It is good. If you like roguelites in the same vein as, like The Binding of Isaac, and you want it to be even more bullet helly, and you want the ability to really customize your runs and abilities and weapons, and this is the game for you. It's easy at first, but it gets really difficult later. So that is the verdict. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to stick around and watch the rest of the video, I'll explain exactly why I like it and some things that are bad, but overall, I recommend it. It's a pretty fun roguelite game. All right, so let's talk about it. We'll go through like a little bit of the story, the gameplay, the good and the bad. So the story, first of all, the game's cheap, right? It's not too bad to get. When you start the game, the story begins and you are I don't want to say a weeb, but you're a typical gamer in your room, and you can see he's on his computer and he's playing around in an MMO. You see some text boxes like, oh, I'm gonna be a wizard, I'm gonna be a mage, hold on, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He walks to the bathroom and then he ends up getting pulled into this magical world, which you don't know if it's in his dreams or he really got pulled into a world. But basically you are the chosen one. You were able to pick up this wand, and that's why the game is called Magicraft. So you go through a dungeon, and then you end up dying in the dungeon, and you wake up in the forest, and you're like, what happened? The two ladies who found you say you are the chosen one. You must defeat evil in the world. So now you have to continue going through portals and portals, dying, coming back, dying, and coming back. And that is the story without spoiling too much if you care about story in these type of games. So let's talk about the gameplay. Overall, as mentioned, it's a bullet hell roguelike. It's a top-down. And let's just give you a rundown, right? So you have wands that you get. You have different classes that you unlock, which affects your starting unique ability. I burped a little bit. Your starting unique ability and your weapons. As you play the game, you unlock more and more NPCs, which will help you with perma progression. So after you defeat bosses, you get certain resources that you can use to, make it so your inventory size is a lot bigger. You can carry more potions. There's shortcuts, etc. And once you get further and further into the game, it starts off easy. You beat the boss. They're the final boss, quote unquote. And then it gets harder, new enemies. It's like Binding of Isaac progression, where it gets harder and you get further along in the deeper of the biomes. And that's pretty much it. I have not yet completed the hardest difficulty. I'm like Nightmare plus. It's really hard, but I'm getting there. So the big draw of the game, everything I've explained, it's like, why don't I just play the Binding of Isaac? Well, Binding of Isaac is fun in a sense that, it has some crazy customization for your characters. You can really customize your tiers and as you fight. But the way that the Binding of Isaac does it is you pick it up and then it automatically synergizes, and you don't have a much say. Like the only synergistic you have customization-wise in the Binding of Isaac is you pick it up and that's pretty much it, right? It just automatically applies. In this game, you pick up a spell and it's a different category. It's like a spell booster, it's a modifier, or it's a different spell itself. The spells can range from typical bullets that fire as a projectile one at a time, hits an enemy, does damage, all the way to a giant beam that's continuously casting, maybe a giant explosion that goes around your character and shoots out a rainbow of stuff. You get what I mean? Lots of different ones. Now, it's cool putting those on, and then every single wand that you get, there's different wands. They have mana regen, they have their own mana pool. In each of the spells has their own cast range, their cast timing, their cost, etc. But the modifiers are crazy. Let's talk about that first spell that I talked about, which is the bullet, the basic blue bullet that you shoot. You can find something called spell boost, like spell duration. It makes it so it flies 2 seconds farther. That's long. It goes to the end of the room. And then you could apply it with orbits, making it so when you shoot, it goes around your character. Then you can make it so when it's done, its duration is complete, it splits into 3. So you can combine all of those and all of those, and you're only limited to how many sort of slots are on that particular wand. And the cool part around it is you have an inventory that you can freely mix and match all of these spells as the run goes on. So if you have all of those 3 modifiers, but then you found another spell that shoots out 3 butterflies, the 3 butterflies will be applied to all of those. They're faster, they orbit around you, and those 3 butterflies will split into 3, making it you have 3, 6, 9 butterflies at once going all around. That's just one example, and it's cool because once again you have 3 wands with different abilities, you have all these different spells where if you find 3 spells, you can combine them into a better version of themselves. So lots and lots of other things: continuous attack, poison, slowing, freezing, copying other abilities, mana regen, combining them into further ones. And my favorite ones are probably the summons. You can find like really cool guys on the ground that you can summon pillars to defend you. You can summon this little cool blue guy called Pop. He shoots out continuous tiers, which you can modify as well. It's just really cool. So that's why the game is popular and people like it. The overall package is cool too. It has a really neat art style. It has crossovers. You can go to the costume area. They have a crossover backpack battles. I didn't even notice that. So you can go in and play as the Reaper with her own unique ability for poisoning, which makes sense. So this is a good game. Let me see exactly how much it is, and let me see if it's worth the 100% price, or if you guys should wait for a sale. 16 bucks. Okay, for 16 bucks, this is a steal. It's really good. If you get it for 10 bucks, it's way worth it and more. Once again, if you love The Binding of Isaac, you like roguelikes, you can't do wrong with this game. It's really good, challenging. And the only thing that's bad though is I feel like there isn't enough spells. But then if you think about it, it's really hard to, code and have every single modifier work with every single spell in different sorts of order, so I can understand. But as you do play the game, you will unlock new categories of new spells, so you will get a little bit as you go on, but it kind of goes to a slow down after a while. But, you will unlock stuff eventually. That's the only thing. Also, the game's extreme bullet hell. Extremely bullet hellish. It's so tough to see with a million sort of projectiles on the screen. As you see from the footage that I'm going to be editing in later, a lot of it is transparent. You have different sort of transparency bars in your settings for your primary projectiles or your summon projectiles and stuff like that. So you can, make it so you can dodge the enemy's attacks a lot better and not fall into holes and step on traps. It's tough. I had like a couple of runs I lost because there was just way too much crap on the screen. You could always tweak that, but I don't know, man. It's just, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, so there's also a lot of little tiny things I didn't mention. Like you can get relics, which is passives, more movement speed. You can get potions for different stuff. You got curses. There's a lot of things for you to explore, and for 16 bucks, this game's really good. I think it was in early access for about a year or so, and I just picked it up when it came with version 1.0, and so far we have 10 plus hours in it, and I'm having a blast. Runs do take a long time though. Like they do take a while once you get to like nightmare mode, and I'm gonna say around an hour to an hour and a half. And even if you rush it, it's still gonna take around an hour, but you don't want to rush it because you want to maximize your damage output. Otherwise you're not gonna get to the end because it's tough. Like towards the end of the game, it's a complete boss gauntlet, but it's fun and it's a good challenge, and I'm glad that you have so much customization, and you think you have broken builds, and then you just keep adding and adding on top of it, and then you fight some crazy enemies that just wreck you. So there's a good challenge towards the end, and as you play the game, you are going to get used to seeing all of the bullet hell stuff, but you just have to find that good balance between the transparency bars, and I think you'll be fine. But yeah, this is a good game. So really, really good game. Highly recommend it. And that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys want to see my Magicraft playthroughs, you can head on over to my Let's Play channel called MabiVs2, link in the description below. Also, I stream most of this on Twitch, also link in the description. So we'll love to see you there. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Magicraft, and that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I still don't have a movement speed buff. Oh my god, he's getting destroyed. Woo! I can't see. I think my other wand flying around is blocking projectiles for me. And that's really cool. Oh, I got slashed. I don't know how much damage this has been doing. I want to say a lot. I really want to say a lot, but I don't know. If I get another auto navigate, I might swap this out. But I would like the Sword of Judgment plus for that. Ray plus, track lightning, reflection. I'll grab it, but we're just gonna reroll these. HP, relics.